Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Happy Monday. Looks like it's going to be a pretty good day here. Typical July weather, hot, humid, and always a chance of a pop-up thunderstorm later on. So it is what it is. Let's see who we got hanging out with us today. Darren Bird's in the house. Good morning, Darren. Mr. Sharp, how you doing, Lonnie? Monroe's here. Good morning, Monroe. Leo Steger. Happy Monday. It's going to rain till noon, according to the weatherman. Okay. It's not raining here. It's a beautiful day out right so far. So far it is. Let's see. Larry says, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Ender going full blast since 0540, printing bigger drag chain for the spindle upgrade. I need another Ender. Well, as I've learned, there's only one thing better than having an Ender 3, and that's having two Ender 3s. So, and if you can hear, I don't know if you can or not, I've got both of mine fired up going as well. They have been a real workhorse the past several days. I gave them the weekend off. I didn't run anything on the weekend. But, yeah, I've been keeping them going. And I know printing drag chain for a spindle. You know, I see a lot of people print drag chain, but to me, and it's just me talking, I'm not judging here. Drag chain is so cheap, you know, that there's no way I would spend the time printing that. I mean, I know you can print it for nothing because it's not going to use a whole lot of filament, but it's just the time involved. You get all those links that you have to make, and there's so many of them, and you can buy them for little or nothing online. You know, and you can get all different sizes. So that's just even though that's a useful thing to print, to me, it's not practical for me. That's just my 2 cents. Well, you know me, Larry, take or leave it. Clyde's here this morning. How you doing, Clyde? Mr. Allen's in the house. How you doing, Allen? Good to see you. Jesse's here. Good morning, Jesse. George Rolfus popped in. Welcome to Monday, July 18th. By the way, great show Saturday night. The proof that Cadence manufacturing bits are great. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I like. I mean, it was hot, but other than that, it was a lot of fun to be out there playing around with a machine. And I did go out there yesterday. For those of you who watched, I did go out there and took me a piece of cardboard and laid over the right side of the board, and then took some spray polyurethane and put a couple of coats on the left side, and then I'm just letting that go to make sure that's good and dry. And then today I'll go out there and spray some paint, and we will probably this next Saturday, I may just leave the stuff on there and we'll peel it off live on the show and see how it looks, see if there's see how it works. I think it's going to do okay. I'm not even sure the other stuff's going to bleed. Everybody says that's going to bleed, but I'm not sure. It might, but if you're using this, I think it probably would for sure if you were dabbing paint in, but if you're spraying it and using it as a mask like that, I'm not so sure it will. We'll see. Let's see. Where did I leave off here? Gary Hammett's in the house. Good morning, Gary. Leo says, yes, George, they impressed me. I bought 2 of them. However, I haven't used them yet. Okay. Good morning from Mustang, Oklahoma. We're going to have our 7th successive day of 100 degrees. That's pretty hot. Alan says, Dave, I have begun to dig a bit deeper into Avid CNCs. What were the deciding factors for your purchase of one? Let me finish saying hello to everybody, and I will come back and touch on that topic. Larry Galt says, I just needed a 2-foot piece. Okay, well, if you're just making something to extend another one or something, that wouldn't be too bad. That probably would be about the same as trying to, get one online or something. Steve Gronsky says, I forget. Thumbs up. Thank you. We got a few of them over there. Not very many. This guy here, he's starting to scare me because he says, morning, I was just watching a video comparing Avid to a Phantom. Somehow me and you are on the same wavelength or something, because that video popped up in my, I know exactly which one you're talking about. I haven't watched it yet. But I'll probably go back and watch it. But it popped up in my feed. I know exactly which video you're talking about. So anyway, let me go back up here and kind of touch on this a little bit. Here was my deal, Alan. As you know, I sell the Gatton CNC kits, which is a DIY, purely for hobbyists, purely for the DIY or somebody who wants to tinker and build their own. But I sell those kits, and I had built my own. When I finished designing the kit, I built my own, and then I was using that machine to cut out all these kits that I was selling. Well, back in I got to think, because I can't remember nothing anymore. 2019, I ran a sale on those kits. A Black Friday sale, a three day, I can't even hold my fingers up right. A 3-day sale. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You know how everybody does after Thanksgiving, Black Friday sale. So that's what I did. And I thought, well, I'll sell, I don't know, 10 maybe. If I'm really lucky, maybe I'll sell 15 or 20 or something. Oh, no. Oh, no. I sold so many of them, and I'm thinking, oh, man, I've done it now. Because, just those 3 days, I couldn't wait for Sunday night to get here so I could shut that sale off. But I had a ton of Gatton CNC kits to cut. And, of course, the only machine I had that was big enough to run the blank that I use for those is my Gatton CNC. And again, it's a hobbyist machine. It's lead screw design, so it does a great job. It's as far as the accuracy and stuff. It's just not very fast. It's not going to cut them very fast. And all of a sudden, I found myself way behind the 8 ball as far as production. So I had been looking at that. Well, back then they were called the CNC router parts. CNC router parts machines. And they had just, I think back then they had just recently switched the name to Avid or something like that. In fact, I think when I went to buy mine, the website was still cncrouterparts.com, but they had changed the name. Now I think they've changed it all. But anyway, I'm sitting out there working my tail off, running these Gatton CNC kits. And all I can do is, all you can do is one at a time. That's all I was doing the best I could. I would, as soon as one would finish, I would, cut the parts out of the blank, knock the tabs off, sand them, and all that stuff. And then I would stack them over to the side and, get ready to box them. But I could only, the process was what it was. I couldn't speed it up any with just one machine. So I got to thinking, I'm thinking, well, dang, Dave, you're out here busting your tail running these things. And you just made all this money because the sale went crazy. So you got all this money that, that was way more than what I had ever anticipated that sale would do. So I started taking a serious look, and I thought, well, I need a machine that's that's at least 4x4 so that it can cut. I didn't have room. A lot of people say, why didn't you get a 4x8? I don't have room for a 4x8. I don't need one that big. So it had to be a 4x4, and it had to be something that would be a big step up so that I could cut them a lot faster. And the Avid fit that bill. And of course, there's a lot of other machines that would have fit that part of the bill as well. But the main reason I went with Avid was because, when you buy it, mine came in, I think about 17 different boxes. And that's the 3 crates. The 80/20 stuff comes out of Indiana. So I got it first. And then I think I got another 14 boxes from UPS. But it's all, it's a DIY thing too. You got to put it together. But I knew that me just being here by myself, I didn't want to have to rent a forklift or get a truck to bring something with a lift gate and have to pay for all that and then have to figure out how to get it moved in. I didn't want anything big and heavy. And I like the fact that the Avid was a kit and you can put it together yourself. And yet none of the boxes, I don't think there was a single box that weighed more than 50 pounds. That's why there's so many boxes, because they break it down where they can ship it UPS and, it's not, you're not going to have a big truck. And I live on a small street, end of a cul-de-sac. So there would have been a whole nother issue trying to get a tractor trailer down. That whole thing didn't appeal to me at all. So that's one reason I like that. But anyway, that's probably the biggest reason that I decided to purchase one of those. And I'm pretty frugal when it comes to money. And obviously I built Gatton CNC, so I help people get started, for little or nothing. So that's what I've always been about. But like I said, I sold so much on that sale, it just overwhelmed me. And I thought, and of course I still had to run every single one of those ones that I did from that sale with my machine. I just had to, stay at it constantly for a couple of weeks. I think it took me about 2 weeks of just really humping to get caught back up. But then once I got my Avid, I ordered it in December. It came about the middle of January. The 80/20 stuff showed up. And then about a week later, the rest of it showed up. And then I put it together. And I've got, Alan, if you really want to dig into what I think about them, you can find out everything. You can find out every penny I spent on my Avid CNC, because I've done. If you look, I don't even know if I have a playlist called Avid CNC or not. But anyway, I've done 3 or 4, 5 videos maybe about the Avid. But one of them was entitled "Why I Bought My Avid CNC and What Did It Cost," and I show right to the penny, including shipping, what it cost me to get that. But it has been such a great machine. I'm not particularly fond of the company. I've been pretty clear about that. I'm not fond of any company that's too woke these days. But we won't get into that. But as far as the machine, there's nothing wrong with the machine. It's been a good one. In fact, it's pretty much other than just playing around with like the way I do with the 3018 and stuff like that. It's pretty much the machine I run all the time now if I'm going to run something. So that might be more information than you needed. I don't know, but yeah, go take a look down my YouTube channel, and um, you'll find out stuff about the Avid. Okay, Alan said he saw that video as well. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I actually took, let's see, Sean's here. Let me get caught up on comments a little bit. Good morning, Sean. Clyde's here. He says the Black Friday sale is when he got his. Yeah. Yeah, Lonnie says bleeding. Is it better to put a coat of shellac tape cut then paint, or tape cut shellac then paint? I don't know. I think a lot of folks, I'm not really the right one to ask because I don't do really many projects. Once, my stuff is just here and there. I might do something for myself. But I think a lot of folks are pretty high on the put either shellac or lacquer stuff down first, cut it, and then even spray that again, because now when you cut it, you've got fresh wood there, so and then paint, I think, is the way most folks like to do it. Thomas Grimm in the house. Good morning, Thomas. You got a pretty good little crowd here for a Monday. Where y'all come from? David's here. Good morning, David. No, that's not going to work on a Garage Works. It'd be way, way too heavy for a Garage Works. Clyde's telling LB, says I cut first, then clear coat, let dry, paint, sand, clear all over. Okay. Alan says, thanks for the history and your motivation to buy an Avid. I will look for your videos and watching Mark put his together now. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but we'll just leave it at that. Today, July 18th, is going to be what I am going to consider as day one into Dave's hydroponic adventure. I've got a bunch of parts in. I still got a bunch more to order, and I'm so mad because I just put together a bunch of stuff, 15 items in my Amazon cart last night. Just last night, a few hours ago. And I looked this morning, and you know how Amazon will go, oh, by the way, one of these things you put in your cart is now changed price. It's not, and of course, it's higher than it was. It's only $3, but still, I'm like, holy cow! I should have went ahead and pulled the trigger yesterday. But yeah. But yeah, today's going to be day one. I'm going to start some seeds. And I've already got my 5-gallon containers. I got those the other day, and yesterday, since I was out there messing around with the little sample things we did on the show Saturday, I also got my black paint and painted the inside, because the containers I have are those black containers, but they have the yellow, I'm sure you've seen them, the yellow lids. So I painted the inside of the lids with black paint as well, because they say that if it's not, if it's any other color than black, you need to either paint the inside or, some people paint the outside. I like the yellow. I think that looks better than the all black. So I like the yellow on top of the black, but I wanted to paint black on the inside to keep the light from getting through, because that creates the algae when you're using either the cracky method or the DWC method. So but anyway, so I'm gonna be starting that today. Pretty excited. I got a bunch of stuff in to build the hydroponic system, and the stuff that I put in my Amazon cart is the list of fittings and stuff. That guy that I've been talking about, the channel's called Simple Greens Hydroponics. Young guy in Wisconsin, and he has done a really good job. He has, again, I don't think it's like PDF plans that you can buy from him, but he has what he calls a video course, and I think it's about $15 or something. And then I guess you watch it and it shows you step by step or something like that. I would rather have just the plans. I don't like having to sit and watch a video to do it. I'm old school, I guess. I like to work from plans because. But anyway, he did have on his website a very detailed parts list, material list, whatever you want to call it. Every little thing that you need to build this. But then he also had links where you could click and go right to it. So I would go to click on one, open it in a new tab, and then figure out how, look and see, okay, I need 3 of these, and I'd add them to the cart. So I got 15 items in my cart. I guess I'm going to pull the trigger on that. And then I will be using the crack key. I'm probably not even saying it right. I think it's Crackty. It's some guy, Bernie Crackty or something. I don't know how you say his name, but anyway, he's the one that kind of came up with that method, and everybody calls it that. But so I'll be using that method while I continue to work on building the rest of this system. And I think I about decided I got the 4x4 posts, the PVC, and I was a little concerned about how flimsy that stuff would be, because they show, in all the videos you see everybody using just a hole saw in a drill, and they say, when you go to drill it, how it has that hole saw have that drill bit sticking out in the center, so you drill down till it goes through in forward, and then you flip it on reverse and run it in reverse, and it will still cut, but it'll make a smoother hole. If you cut it the other way with the teeth going the other way, it's real jagged, and you don't want to do that. So and then of course I knew I had some hole saw things somewhere. I bought a kit of them, and then I found them. Unfortunately, I was able to find them. But then when I got to look, I'm like, well, I don't really have the size I need anyway. So after getting that stuff in yesterday, and taking it out of the box, and then I also took, it was 2 big 8-foot pieces. So I took it around back to my chop saw, and now I have 4 4-foot pieces. But I think that stuff is going to be stiff enough that I think I can actually put it on my CNC and mill those holes out without snatching it off and stuff like that. So it's pretty stout stuff. And I think if I program it right and don't try to get too aggressive, I can make all the cuts, and that way I'll have perfectly smooth cuts on it, be able to get accurate spacing and all that, Not that it really matters, it's not critical. But Anyway, Jim Senecola's in the house. Good morning, Jim. Hope you're doing well. I've got, like I said, I got both these cranked up back here. You can probably hear it. I'm running some more of these. Let's see. These this morning. Trying to get just a few more of those. I've got, I made a ton of stuff. Here's the thing. You see, I got 3 different sizes here, and I got a bunch of those. And plus, I bought some cups as well. But I should be pretty well stocked as far as doing this hydroponic thing. But I'm really looking forward to getting that going. Still haven't thought of a name for my new YouTube channel that I was going to start. So, anybody has any suggestions on that, let me know. That'll probably still be another month or so off, though, because that's the one thing about it. If you're documenting the growing of plants or food or stuff like this, it's not like you can just go out and shoot the video in one day if you're trying to document the growth cycle, because it's going to take well, I'm starting out with lettuce, and it's got it's usually about 45 days to maturity, so you're talking a month and a half. So but it'll be fun to do that and get some good fresh stuff to eat. I have enjoyed a few tomato sandwiches from the tomato plants I put out there, but the heat has really done a number, and they're not getting as big as they should be, and just not as many. All right, we've got Larry. Did you see that? We got another live one here. Jim says he's getting a 3D printer tomorrow. Good deal. What kind you getting, Jim? For some reason, I thought you already had one. I don't know why I thought that. They are a lot of fun, I think, and especially now with this hydroponics thing I'm getting ready to do. It's nice to be able to just make a bunch of this stuff myself. I've already got another thing that I know I'm going to end up designing and printing on there, and that's going to be a little bracket of some kind that I can mount my LED grow lights to, and then it will just snap into the metal shelving, the little wire metal shelving. Somebody probably makes one, but rather than spend a lot of time looking for it, I'm like, I can just print one out. I think it'll work okay. Okay, Jim says he's getting a Flash Forge 4. Okay. I've heard of that name. I've not, not seen one up close, but same thing as son here. Okay, well that's good. That way you can get some help if you run into any snags. Getting it set up and stuff. You'll have him to help you. Larry says Dave does hide. Is that a suggestion for a name? I've got a name in mind, but I don't know if I'm going to use it or not. I don't know. Like I said, and the whole thing is not to. It's just to document what I do, because I'm so forgetful. I'll be able to. It's like in fact, I'm thinking about calling it and using the word diaries in the name, because it's going to be kind of like a diary, like. Just so that I can look back and remember what the heck. Because you think about it, it takes so long to grow stuff that if you start out something and you did something at the beginning and then it turns out in the long term that worked out really good, that's going to be a couple of months down the road. You probably forget what you did. So that's my plan, is to just kind of make a video diary of my my little hydroponic adventure. Alan says, I have had a Prusa for a year now, and it gets a workout. Printed some clips for a VFD install. Okay. All right. Yeah, they're really handy for the CNC people. Not just the CNC 3D printer, but people that have a CNC router or that type of machine. You can make a lot of little useful things. Some people that do YouTube videos use them to print them a mount where you can put your little GoPro on it. Yeah, I think I like that one better. Dave's Hydroponics Diaries. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, 3D printers are really handy. So, all right. Well, that was my bell. I'm going to get out of here. We've had a pretty good little crowd in here today. Got quite a few thumbs up, too. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. But I'm going to get started. I got to go. Like I said, it's going to be day one. I'm going to start putting some seeds in a little starter thing. It's about 3-4 days. I should see some sprouts, and then it'll really get going. So hopefully it all works out. You'll know, whether it's a win or a fail. I'll be showing it. So anyway, y'all have a good one, and we will see y'all tomorrow for number 527. And of course, that's if the Lord's willing and the creek don't rise. See y'all.